Hello, 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 and welcome to the first episode of our podcast where we celebrate the diverse stories and shared experiences of Black women all around the world. I am Cammie Red, one of your co-hosts and the author of the book Dear Black Woman, Letters of Love, Strength, and Empowerment. Today, myself, Lauren, and Nicole, who will introduce themselves to you shortly, will be diving deep into our personal journeys, where we've been, what we've seen, and how our backgrounds have shaped who we are. You'll hear from us as we share our roots, the countries that we have been in that we've called home, and the pivotal moments that defined our identities. From navigating cultural differences to overcoming common challenges and celebrating our unique triumphs, this is about us, dear Black women. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So, ladies.
Yes, hello. Yes, I'm just excited.
I am so excited about doing this project with you two. Well, let's get into it. Nicole, I'm going to let you start. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world and let them know who you are and why you're doing this.
Okay, so my name is Nicole Davis. I am based in Paris at the moment, and I am a coach in emotional intelligence. And I started all of this after I was passed up for a promotion, and the job was that I had previously requested, by the way, was given to an old friend of my boss, someone with no professional credentials, no degree, not even a second language to her credit. So, and get this, my boss has a PhD in emotional intelligence. Yes, that part. So, stupidly, I went along with this mad plan for a few weeks, I'm sorry, but inside I was fuming. I was furious. Then, spirit kicked me in the butt. I found myself rushed to the emergency room for a heart attack. So now it was getting serious. My family was paying the price for my neglect, and it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay at all. So that's when I decided to take charge of my life and study emotional intelligence. I was very fortunate to meet with a great mentor who guided me on my journey. She supported me every step of the way. And during my time recuperating, I began an inner journey to find clarity and direction. And let me say this, I cannot thank enough all the Black women and Black person who are surrounding me and who supported me during this journey. I made it my mission to support Black women to manage their emotions. Today, as a coach, I empower Black women like you and I to turn workplace and life stress into unshakable strength through the power of emotional intelligence. Together, we'll cultivate your inner peace, reclaim your voice, and help you thrive in any environment. Yes, I did this. I did quit that motherfucking job for starters. Excuse my French here. And I'm still working on the legal details of my exit. My freedom time is coming. So uh, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to help Black women and support them in their journey.
We're excited for you.
Yes, you have no idea. So am I. It is time. It is
Okay, Lauren, go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
So, my name is Lauren Edwards. I would say I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. I think that's what they call me in the education field. So, I own a preschool and I basically assist mainly people in the community in getting back into employment, into training. I mainly deal with women. This year, sort of strikes my 4th year anniversary of getting people back into some kind of training, and we've managed to get over 1,000 women from all different ethnic backgrounds into training, into some kind of employment, which I'm super proud of. Why did I get into doing this? I think part of this was about getting out of my comfort zone. I'm not a great, I'm not a person who likes to speak in a public sense. But I've decided to start saying yes to more things and being open to a lot more things. So I decided, why not? Let's go. And if it can help people on the journey, why not? That's what I'm all about.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. And thank you to saying yes to this part of your job.
Yes, that is lovely. That is so nice one.
Yeah.
Really.
So I'm going to introduce myself, and I don't think I really need an introduction, but here's the thing. I am Cammie Red. I am a chef. I am an author. I am a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and I am an entrepreneur as well. You can see me everywhere or just about everywhere, but this journey came about from my book, Dear Black Woman. After experiencing 2 years in a very traumatic type of situation with a relationship, I wrote love letters to myself that transformed into a book that every Black woman needed to hear. But what I did not know is how it would resonate with women all over the world. So I gathered my friends, Lauren and Nicole, to be on this podcast with me so that we all can share relatable stories from Black women everywhere, all over the world, to show you how our commonalities and how we may be in different places, but there are so many things that are alike about what we're going through and what we face on a daily basis.
Yes.
So, with that being said, I'm going to open the conversation up, and I'm just going to ask this question because here's the thing: this podcast is like three girlfriends right now on the phone chit chatting about what we're facing.
Hold on, let me take my wig off.
Okay, right. What we're facing in our world and in our day-to-day lives. So what I want to first ask each of you ladies is, what was the defining experience from your childhood that shaped your perspective as a Black woman?
That's a good question.
I think me and you kind of touched on this yesterday, Nicole, when we said, do we even see ourselves as Black women in that sense in Europe, being in UK? Do we even see that? Do we even have that thing where we are Black women until, for me personally, until there's kind of a crossover, maybe a racist comment or someone's maybe a bit different, and then I kind of get that sense of, oh, okay, I'm different, or I'm a Black woman as such. But I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say there was a defining moment. I think you have experiences that make you check yourself a bit and remember who you are. I wouldn't say there has been a defining moment.
For me, because my parents are Caribbean from Martinique, there were always a disconnect between what I was living at home and what I was living in the world. I was a Black person at home, but I didn't know I was, outside of my home. But I think the defining moment was when I went for the first time to Martinique. And I realized, so many Black people.
I had that in Atlanta.
Oh my
I
God.
had that in Atlanta. I had that moment. So actually thinking about it. Yeah, Nicole.
Yeah, I was 16 and being surrounded by so many Black people and so many Black people that were seeing me, because there's really a particular thing, and I would say, especially in Europe, where you really feel unseen, You feel unseen in Europe. The Black culture is not as prevalent as it is in the US because you guys had to fight
Yes.
tooth and nails for it. You
Yeah.
demanded it, and let's say this, America is profiting of,
Yeah,
making
they
big
are.
bucks
They
out
are.
of
You said you said it right.
let's just put this in perspective. But for us in Europe, and I don't know how it is for you, Lorraine, but at least in France, uh, revendicating that you're a black person, people always looking at you like, I speak French, but I don't feel like I'm French. I feel like I am a African black woman.
Hmm.
I think I tell you what I've noticed, maybe in employment and in business, when I've been employed and they need a picture to tick a box.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind coming to take that
Black person over here.
picture? We need to tick the box. So I've noticed that side of things has happened
Mm,
a lot. Or an experience that I had, I own a preschool and I hire, people that come and work with me, staff. And we had a young lady that came in as kind of like an apprentice junior practitioner. And we had a Christmas party, and I was like, yeah. And she asked, look, can I bring my son along to the Christmas party with the other children? I was like, yeah, of course, bring. And we had the party, and she said, look, my mum is going to come and bring some gifts for the staff and stuff. I said, yeah, no problem. She was about to start work. Her mum's come. I said, hi, mum, whatever. Then I think on the Monday she was supposed to come. She didn't come in. And I said, oh, I rang her and I said, oh, you're not coming in? She said, no, my mum said I'm not allowed to work for black people.
yo,
What?
So
that,
that was one of, I am not allowed to work for black people. That was the first thing for me that was like,
Nicole put her glasses on when you said
Nicole went,
ooh, yeah. Oh, ooh.
But
What?
no, let me say this to you, Lauren. That right there, that translate across everywhere, because even here in the United States,
yeah,
as a black business owner, we still face those things. I remember watching a TikTok where this girl, she thought that she was entitled because of her skin color, and she was working for a black woman, and her mother came in and wanted to fight with the owner, and the lady said, do you realize that this is my business? Do you realize that I don't have to
I'm never
yeah.
looked at as the owner.
The audacity, though.
I know, right? The
Every
audacity to
time
tell.
I
Yeah.
go into my businesses, it's quite nice in some respect because I can kind of go in and go out and I can actually see what's going on without people actually knowing who I am sometimes. So like a undercover boss. But
Lauren, I love the way you think.
Yeah.
sometimes they don't know that they don't know.
I love the way, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah. But no, the audacity of her mother putting that and instilling that into her, because she's going to be defeated or set back for a long time. I don't know, like over here in the States, we do have quite a few black business owners, quite a few black CEOs,
Yes.
quite a few black people who have achieved that level of being the boss, whether it's in their own business or in someone else's business. So how is she going to ever make it in the world having that
I actually
attitude?
was really taken back by it because it was the first time I think for me that it was I just go about my everyday. Oh, you need a job. I started with community. My whole background is community engagement, community well-being. I help. So, even the nursery behind it, it was about me helping people who want to get back into employment and training. One of the hurdles was expensive childcare. So we produced a nursery that was cheaper. So I like to think of myself as always sort of hiring people that might not always get hired or might not always be given a chance. So the girl already, I think, wasn't really one of those people that could walk into a job. She's probably one of those people that probably would struggle. But I was like, no, I'll give you a chance. You always have to give people a chance. And
Look
I think
at you
she
being
was
a black woman. Look at you being a Black woman, always trying to nurture and take care of the other people. Okay.
Look at my face right there.
Nicole, can you put the F-bomb in there for me just so I can just feel like you're here?
I'm giving you an F. You're not here to rescue nobody. People have agency. They are able. Just
no, I know.
Yeah. Look, as Nicole would normally say, fuck them. Yeah.
That's why I said, Nicole, give me an F-bomb. Let me know you're there.
What the fuck is this? What? Really? Really? What? But the thing is that this is the way we are. We are nurturing, we are giving, we are sharing, because we have many Black women and Black people as a whole really have a deep sense of empathy.
Yeah.
You know, like truly someone gonna I've been the recipient of act of kindness by Black people like you wouldn't believe, really. And that's our thing, and we need, at some point we need to stop doing that. Of course you didn't know your employee and her mother would be reacting like this, but it is to say that really, God, even when we try to do something good, it
because
can
we don't look at ourselves as Black people. Sometimes we just go along about our business, and then someone has to remind us that we are. Do you see what I mean?
We are Black, yeah, and that's everywhere. That's not just where you are. That's everywhere.
Exactly. So
we have in our hearts, we are natural givers. You can go back in history, you can go back in time, and you can look at all of the things when Europeans invaded Africa, how we welcomed them, the gifts that we gave them, the things that we showed them, the lessons that we taught them, only for them to turn around and enslave us and take us to their location for us to work for them. So if you think about it, it's something that's just instilled in us. It's who we are as a people from the depth of everything.
I believe so.
Also, I think I grew up in a very white suburban area. I still live in that same area, and I suppose now I'm thinking about it in depth. Another thing that happened to me when I was younger, I'd say, going on like the school bus or whatever, when you was going into secondary school. I don't know what you call it in the US when you're kind of like 13, 14.
Middle school.
Yeah, so 14 bus. And by then your friends and everyone's into boys and girls or whatever they're doing, they're into, they're looking, right? And I remember sitting on the bus with all my friends, which were predominantly white, because we'd go to school, and on the way back we'd get on the bus and they'd say to me, "Look, Lauren, there's a Black boy, do you like him?" And I used to be like, what? But so it's all those. So I'm Black, he's Black, we must like each other.
Right, that part. There's another Black person. Do you know them?
Yeah. Exactly. You know my Black friend Carl, right? You know him,
you
right?
and my Black friend hung out together, right? Y'all see each other at the family reunion, right? Okay.
I'm looking forward to this journey, though, Cami. I'm really looking forward to this, and you, Nicole. I'm hoping that we really start to unpack some real issues that are happening. When
it's funny that you said that about your middle school, because let me explain something to you. Yes, I grew up in a Black environment, and yes, here in the United States, we do have African American neighborhoods. There are African American people, but when I was younger, my grandmother lived in what you would think is what would be called a ghetto type of situation. So the schools in our areas don't have the type of education that they do in other areas. and I was bused to school. So I had the pleasure, unlike my cousins and stuff, to leave where I was to go to the schools in the white neighborhood. So whenever I tell anybody about my experience in elementary school, my experiences in middle school, my experiences in high school, I went to predominantly white elementary schools, predominantly white middle schools, and predominantly white high schools until my last few years. And because my father worked in government here in Georgia, I actually hung out and went to those events with my dad growing up where it was predominantly white political figures.
Wow.
So my tale is a tale of two worlds, of that code switching, so to speak, where you
Same.
have to act one way at home, but then when you go out into the world and out
That
into
is
the
my life.
public, you've got to act another way.
100%. That's
Yeah, like
exactly.
for my real name is Camila, and it's African and it's Arabic. Nobody, while I was in middle school, elementary school, or high school, pronounced my name correctly. None of my teachers, they didn't even care to. If I corrected them, they'd
Wow.
still say it the wrong way. So the experience of being a Black woman and dealing with all of those issues, it's the code switching for me. It's what we
Yes.
have to do on a daily basis
All
in
the
our
time.
lives all
All
the
the
time.
all the
Yeah.
time. You know what? It's funny you say that, Cammy, because whenever I used to go for an interview, so my name is Lauren, my surname is Edwards, which is they're all very English,
Yeah. Yeah.
British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the area in which so whenever you submit a resume, a CV, it's Lauren, Edwards, and then you've got this like suburban white neighborhood. Yeah. So whenever I would go to an interview, you would see the people going, "Hi, Lauren Edwards," and then I would stand up. But they're looking for someone else, and then they'd go, "Oh,
Ooh,
hi."
They
It
were not
was
expecting a
time.
Black woman. They was looking for that white girl that lives in that suburban
Yeah,
neighborhood. They
the
were
name,
probably gonna hire you
and they go,
until, yeah.
"Oh, okay."
wow. The joys of being a Black woman in white places.
So, what
Yeah.
about in France, Nicole? What
Same
would you
thing
say?
here. I grew up and I went into private schools.
Wow.
So
Okay.
my mom was really, Caribbean mothers. They sent you to private schools. There's no nothing around that. So I was for the longest time until late middle school, the only Black girl in
Wow.
my class. The
Wow.
only Black
That
girl.
had to be
And
difficult.
Well,
only Black girl at school,
yeah.
only Black girl at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming back to France after the US, only Black girl in the workplace. I was like, what? I'm not gonna drop another fuck bomb, but
No.
You just did.
You
you know,
did. You did.
I was well, so it really felt like I was still in the end of the 70s, going back to the workplace in France, and I'm like, I cannot believe I am still the only Black person in my
Mm-hmm.
department.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there were another girl who is lovely, Agnes. Basically, she had been the only Black person.
For a while, she carried that torch. So,
She was probably so happy to see you. She
I
was
was
like,
like, wow,
another
it's really
Black
cool.
person.
It's really, really cool. But I was like, wow, in 2021, because the thing is, because I lived in the US for so long, for over 20 years, in my work experience, I was really lucky to experience Blackness in the workplace. I worked for Black CEOs, an all Black team, Black colleagues. And I was like, oh, yeah, like this. Or brown people. One of my boss was an Indian gentleman uh,
Mhm.
from a thick face, and it was lovely. We had such a diverse team. I was French. There were English people. There were Spanish people, Asian people. There were people of all kind of race. I never felt so at ease at work that in this
that's
place.
good.
By the way, it was lovely. This boss taught me a lot about what it is to really bring people on board, how it is to really lead from the heart, how it is to try to be a leader and do the best you can. I really had great friendship there that I'm still friends with. I had a good friend, Carl, and another friend of mine, Manny, who is lovely. Uh, they were like some really cool people. You know, the baby's nest that sort of thing maybe wasn't satisfactory, but I learned a lot. So coming back to France and seeing this, I really felt isolated, you know, because there's a particular thing in the US where, as a Black person, you feel seen. I never felt so Black as when I was in
That's
the
why I
US.
said when I went to Atlanta, I think it was the first time. I mean, I've been to Caribbean, obviously, you know, my parents are from Jamaica. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there before. But when I went to Atlanta, there was something about it.
Ooh, there's something in the air. It's the Black.
No, not that, not that. Behave, behave.
Yes. Fucking good looking Black people, women, men, and you're like, oh, that every day, all day. What the fuck? Oh,
It was. It was the only place I cried when I left. I cried.
Oh my God.
listen,
Yeah, because
let me
it was
tell
like
you.
there was something there that just made me feel like, you know, when I switch on the TV, there's people that look like me. There's doctors, there's nurses, there's people all over in all different professions that look like me. And when you come to somewhere like here, you're literally, I mean, I will tell you this week, I went into, so I still work for a corporate company 3 days a week. And I went in to do they do like a monthly, you know, if the whole company has to come together because everyone works from home now. And I looked around, I was like, hold on. There was like 10 Black people before. Now there's like 40 Black people. And I was like, where's all these people come from? But I know there was a massive sort of, when the Black Lives Matter thing came about, there was a whole big thing where they put together like a committee of ethnic minorities. I was part of it, you know, I had to tick the box. What can we do? What can we do? And I said, why don't you take names off of resumes and CVs? Just take the name off. You shouldn't have, you know, if you're hiring, you shouldn't have
That's a very good point. That's an excellent point. That's an
because
You're
because
right.
the thing is, in the US,
bias.
you don't put your age, you're not entitled to put your picture as well, nor you put your address.
But see, let me tell you this. In the US, they still do what they do in the UK. They go by name. So
Yeah.
if your name but see, let me give you some hip to what's going on. You got so many people trying to adopt a hip hop and African American culture that now Keisha can be white, Black, or Indian, or anybody, whereas in the past I would only put the first initial of my name, K, and then put my last name.
But it's the surname.
Yeah.
It's the surname a lot of the time here. The last name, that's what we're looking at. And I actually remember one of the directors at the time saying, oh no, because I wouldn't want to walk into a room and be surprised. What's that mean?
That means I don't want to walk into a room and see a Black person or
Asian,
person or a person of color, any person.
Because what they tend to do, you got to remember, if you've got a first name and an African surname, a lot of the time, unless it's going to fit the profile that they really want, then they're like, no. That's not going to be for us. We don't want that.
Yeah, so they still do that here in the United States, just so you know. So when you go to look for jobs, like, yes, Atlanta is quote unquote the Black Mecca, but in other parts of the United States, we don't have it that easily.
Yeah.
That's why this city has become such a place of joining together Black people, because unfortunately, in this city, we fought for that. You got to think about all of the civil rights people that came from this city.
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Martin Luther King was born here in this city.
yes,
So we celebrate that type of stuff. However, I've lived in South Carolina. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Florida.
And
Yes,
what's the difference?
yes, we have a thriving community everywhere, but no, we're not treated the same. We're not looked at the same. You have to go and find your communities when you move
yeah,
to certain
I agree.
areas.
But one
Like
thing
you,
I will say, Cami, which I totally respect, and I know it doesn't make it right, but what I will say, the US versus the UK, I don't know France, probably France, is the US, if people have got racial issues or issues around race, is very open. In the
Mhm.
UK, it's very subtle.
It
Like
is what it
we
is.
want to do it with a little bit of a
Let me
bow.
give it to you on politics level. It is, but it isn't. Okay. So we have to be careful here because we have a saying, going with the devil that you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we like the white people who are outward with their racism and this, that, and the third, but it's not like that in corporate America.
No.
In corporate America, you have closeted races. That means where I'm not really telling you that I don't like you, but I'm doing little things to make it appear like you're the problem and I'm not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we deal with, especially as Black women, and having to, and we got this thing. And if you guys are on TikTok or on social media, you know that in America, Black women and white women don't really get along.
Yeah.
No, that is
Why,
true. That is
why
true.
is
But
that?
let me tell you this, like, unlike France, at least if anything happened, you in the US, you can motherfucking sue them.
Look,
You
every
right
time
about
as
that.
well.
You
You
can
right.
do that.
I'm
You right
getting you
about
a
that.
You
t-shirt
can
with
sue
that on
them,
it.
you can sue their white pasty ass. So yeah, you
Yep.
can do that.
Yeah,
You know.
but see,
And
they
it's not
don't they
the
don't
same.
like us. They don't like us, and here's why. They don't like us because of what you do, Lauren. We have power. We have unmistakable, undeniable power. We're the most educated group of people in the US.
That
So
is
we go in and we take jobs that they're used to just getting because of their smile and they're flirting with the boss and they're doing all of that. But we go in and we're qualified. You
yeah.
understand? You
Mhm.
cannot deny my qualifications to take this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what they do is they nitpick with us. And so then we become the angry Black woman at work. You understand?
Mhm.
So we have some of the same struggles. It looks different here. Just like you said, when the incident with George Floyd happened, what really made me understand that it wasn't just a US thing was the fact that every Black person around the world decided that this was time for them to step up and step out as
They had
well.
had
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
had
So,
Because
like, even
they,
in the UK, in Australia, in South America, in Canada, it became clear that the United States is not the only place that has a racial issue.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The
100%.
thing is just this is really close to how people feel with themselves, their emotion about themselves, because I was also very lucky to had wonderful white friends that understand my plight, that understand my fight, that understand the situations and conditions that I had to 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 um to deal with, but it's not most of them. A lot of people still need to do the work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of people still need to do the work. And in order for us to be a more integrated, interconnected community, we need to understand that we can learn from anyone. It
Well, I think
doesn't
that's
matter.
what this does as well,
It
because, like
doesn't
I said,
matter.
I didn't
Doesn't matter
realize that
color.
we cross over so much from conversations and stuff. We cross over. As a Black women, we could probably pick 10 Black women from all over the world, and we probably still have very similar stories, no matter what, no matter where we are. We
Yeah.
have similar stories, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's it is time for change. It is time for change. It is time for fairness. It is time for really looking inside of us, of what we can do better, and really making an effort to understand each other better
I
at
have a
the
question for you based off of what you just said. Now, on my list of the questions in case we get stuck, it's so funny you say that because I was going to ask, how have the environments you guys have lived in impacted your sense of community and connection with other Black women?
I feel in France you feel very disconnected because the thing that I really like about Black people in the US, they are, they're there. When I
Mhm.
see a group of Black American in Paris, they're walking in the street,
Yeah,
they're
you know that they're loud, they're there, and they're proud.
loud and they're talking and they're laughing. They're taking space.
Yeah.
Black Americans take space, so most of the time they stand like at least a foot or a head or two higher than everybody else, and then they take space. They take space and they talk, and you see them. Here, I was really surprised to see how it feels like Black people are in hiding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what
Really, it
I would
really
say, I
feels
think you
this
mean,
way. I don't, I see Black people, but Black people don't even smile in the street. Black people
I
don't
think
even
we're so
smile like
dispersed
this,
in the
or
UK.
we don't even acknowledge each other. This is something that I miss about living in the US.
Go.
Walking down the street in Atlanta and seeing someone, how you doing?
Oh yeah, Nicole. No, do that again, Nicole. How did they do it?
How you doing?
Oh,
No.
you
So,
said someone like, can I get your
the
number?
thing that even if that person does not say anything, give you a little head nod, give you a smile, you feel seen. There's a sense, but it's because of the colonization story. We were not to be seen. We were to be used
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
commodities. We
Yeah.
were not to be seen. And it really conveys. And but the thing is, when I'm going to London, though, it's different.
Do you
It,
think,
I
yeah?
think black English people are different.
How
There's
would
Like
you say that they're
they're more, and I think it's probably an Anglo-Saxon things, but in France, Jesus.
But what I will say is, I find that in the UK, unless you are London or city based,
mm,
London, Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool,
Yeah,
they are the cities. That's where you're going to get predominantly people that are, from all different ethnic
got you.
minorities. That means, you will get you can go to a black bar, or, you're going to see black people, and we're in the jobs and stuff. You go out, you get looked at. I have an auntie lives in the countryside, and so I drive 2-3 hours and maybe see her once in a while. And when I'm in her area, they're like, who is this? like we've never seen a black person unless they were on TV. So
Lord,
unless you're in the main hubs, as soon as you come out of those hubs,
that is
it's not the
crazy.
same.
It really felt like this because I grew up in Normandy. And in Normandy, my parents bought a house in the 70s, and I was 10 at the
Right.
time. And we were the first Black family in the neighborhood. Let me tell you.
Well,
Every
it's the same
neighbor,
here. We were the first, and we were always called Black Lee and Black Lauren. My brother's name's Lee, and we were called. Do you know Black Lee and Black Lauren? So that's how they referred to us, as Black Lee and Black Lauren, because there was no other. There was no
let
other
me tell
other
you,
blacks in the area,
there
and there
were neighbors that were passing in front of our house to see how we were looking like.
Are they aliens? Are they?
you know what? That
My mom,
sounds very
I'm gonna
yeah.
give a lot of credit to my mom. My mom is very feisty. My mom is a petite lady.
Really, Nicole? Really?
Seriously, we would have never thought that at all, Nicole.
No. What?
She's petite and she's probably 5'1", 5'2", and people passing in front of the house like that. She was like, "Yo, what is wrong with you? We're not at the zoo." I remember that.
Yeah.
One day, because at the time, it was late 70s, early 80s, and we were getting our groceries from the little neighborhood stores. And one day I went to the store that was they were also grocers and meat market and all that stuff to buy some milk. And the lady say, no, I would not be buying some milk because I was buying too much milk. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell that to my mom. So I go over
And
and
Mama came out, didn't she?
and in Creole,
Yeah.
she got her thing done because my mom is petite but was very cute. My mom is a
Feisty.
very cute petite lady. She goes there. They were like, oh, so you don't want to give us milk? Let me tell you, I will never buy again any milk from the store. Bye.
But what you were saying, Cammy, about how we
My mom was the badassery
no,
incarnated. Let me tell you another little story. This is so good. One day we were going to church. My mom, my brother, my sister, I have a brother and a sister. We're going to church. My mom is looking really cute, and we see a homeless man in front of the church. So my mom give him some money and stuff, and ask him some questions. So, what happened to you? She was really, wanted to bring a word of comfort, and the guy had the audacity to tell it's because of people like you that I don't have a job.
You know what? That happens
that's
here.
the favorite line.
Let me finish. Let me finish. My mom looked at him. Oh, really? So you don't need my money then? She took back her money. She took back her money. Back.
There you
And my
go.
brother, my sister, and I, we were like in the memes. Ooh.
Yeah.
My
That happens here a lot. And I'll be honest with you. Let me take it again political. If you pay attention to how our presidential race is being run right now, it's being run based on the fact that they're telling people, one of our candidates is telling people that immigrants are coming to this country taking their jobs.
We've had that.
So
That's where we're in trouble. UK
yeah.
decided to do that route and use that strap line, and we are in so much trouble as a result of coming out of Europe. So they can take that route, but they will not end up.
No, he doesn't. Listen, I'm going to go back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago when you were saying in the cities of the UK, that is where, you see a lot of African American, Black UK people. I'm used to being in the United States. Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's the same way here. It's just that you have to remember we have 50 states. Yeah. And a lot of times as a foreigner, you come to the major cities, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, all of those places. But I had to tell someone I don't work in those places. I work in rural America. So for me, I got a contract to work for a nonprofit in a small county in Texas, and it encompassed 4 cities. Well, first of all, I fight a fact that I'm Black, but I also fight against the fact that I'm a woman. Now, I'm an educated Black woman who's coming in, got a degree, who knows how politics and things, public health and everything is supposed to be run. Not just from me
coming to touch shit to you then.
not just from my experience, but also from how I grew up, my grandmother, my father, all of that. So one of the things that I literally told somebody, I said, oh my God, I just took a step back in time. And they were like, what do you mean by that? I said, we're not only racially divided, but we're divided by gender as well. And Black men in these rural cities and counties have the same mindset as white men do. So it's a masculinity superiority thing. I said, but what they don't realize is they're the token in the situation where one county commissioners, it was all white guys and this one Black guy. The one Black guy thinking he's something, this, that, and the third, because he sits on the county seat, not even realizing that all of these white men are keep voting down everything you saying because you're Black. They don't care about your recommendations. They don't care about what you got going on. When you go into rural America here, the same thing that you just said about France in 1970 still exists
Exists,
here.
of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
we still, that's why we fight and we show up the way we do. Because even though those things are supposed to years ago, here in 2024, you're still having first black this and first black that and
Mm.
first female black this and
Yeah.
first female
We're
black
still
that.
waiting though, Cammy. We're still waiting.
The thing is, for us, there's no black this or black that. You know, there's no black school, there's no black university, there's no black TV.
And as I mean, because I kind of think we moved away from the question you was asking about how we was it interact with other black women. Cammy, you kind of frozen.
I'm here.
Oh.
I'm here. Okay.
How was that your question? How it's kind of
How do we now interact with other black women? How does your environment create that space?
Where I lived and growing up, as I said, there was not many black people, period. So what we found is that when we started seeing other black people and me seeing other black girls, we formed a mini clique. Now we wouldn't see each other all the time, but we knew each other. We all knew each other's name, where we were. Sometimes and one of my really close friends now, you know, I've known her. We were the only kind of two black girls in the village kind of situation. And so we understood each other probably in depth, where we lived in this place, but we sort of ventured out into black areas so we could, you know, understand ourselves a bit more. And then we'd come back to the reality of where we lived. But then I think as I've got older, I do struggle sometimes to keep certain friendships. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think for me, things come with, I wouldn't say expiry dates, but I think you have to learn that people come into your life for certain reasons and they leave your life for certain reasons.
That is right. That is also right.
And now I'm starting to accept that, whereas I don't think I used to accept that before. I used to try and hold on, even if it was good, bad, or ugly. I used to hold on to those relationships.
Yeah. No, that makes good sense. For me, I had a good group of black girlfriends.
In France? In France?
In France, yes, for the longer time. That was the time when I moved to Paris and started working. And I'm still friends with all those ladies to this day, which is nice. But yeah, friendships were important for me because I really have long time friendships, and I'm thinking about that now. It was a really good question because that allowed me to reflect.
And think about
my friendships are like a long time friendship that I know, like since my child was little. So yeah, you know,
I think as well, when you live in for me, I lived in, like I said, my family's, I've got a mixed family. My mum's biracial, so and I think it allowed me to have friends in certain areas, and black friends allowed me to understand a bit more when it came to my hair, my skin, the type of food, this, that. So it gave me a broader sense of connection with who I was, I suppose, because I grew up in a place that wasn't the case. But yeah, I think strongly that I will say black friendships, though, my black friendships are very different to my white friendships, and sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's not positive, and I don't know why.
Can you ladies hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Cammy.
I had to get up and move around.
Welcome back, Cammy. Welcome back.
I can't see Nicole, but if you're still there, continue to talk. Okay.
You, Cammy, I see
Drop an F-bomb, Nicole. F-bomb. Drop an F-bomb so we know you're there.
I'm still here, ladies. I'm still here. Yeah,
I wanted to say, you know, I know that here in the United States, it's very different with trying to it's different. We have great cliques of black women where we go and we can join these groups and make friends and do all of that stuff. But we also have some of us that, you know, we fight against each other.
Mhm.
And
That is
yeah.
definitely, definitely.
So we fight against each other. We go against each other in some ways. I just had a conversation the other day about older black women and working with younger black women in the workplace and how that actually pans out and how that happens. Sometimes we go into the workplace and those are the ones that discriminate against us the most. And
Mhm.
that's what I was having a conversation about how we can bridge that divide so we don't have to feel like we've got to compete with
Better
each other.
communication. Better communication.
So
But would you also say as well, though, Nicole, in saying that, you know, how we are raised, the way we are raised, and the way
Yes,
the
because the thing
environments
is,
we're in, we're all very
exactly,
different. So,
we I absolutely agree, Lauren, because the thing is, we need to put in perspective our history. You know, our history for all of us is based on colonization. And in order to keep us where we needed to be, we needed to be separated. Because if we were coming in groups, we would be like the Asian people and revolting. They're still paying the French to this day, by the way. Let me just put this on the platform. But it was really the mindset, and now that we have much more insight about our history, about what we were, the things that we have accomplished, we are regaining a sense of ourselves, and we're regaining as well a better sense of understanding of all the layers of actions that were taken that really stopped us from communicating better with each other because we were in survival mode. We were in survival mode all these, you know, during all those years. All our ancestors were in survival mode. Needed to raise 5, 10 kids. My grandmother raised 10 kids.
my
it's a,
grandmother did too. My
My
grandmother had 11 kids.
grandfather passed away. So 10 kids on her own. She sent everybody to school, fed everybody. You
Yeah.
I
know,
will say in my older years, um, you learn to understand where I wouldn't say where everyone kind of has a place within my like friendship,
yeah, no, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
some are like the party friends, and some of
yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
the ones you confide in, you know. And but I do think that we, when you talk about divide, I do believe, you know, the initial thing always for black women is to clash first. Sometimes
Yes.
you get through it, sometimes you get through it and you get to the other side and you love. But I can't count the amount of times that I've got friends with for 20 years, and we've fallen out and we've come back together, and we've fallen out and we've come back
to.
together, and we've fallen. And a lot of the time it's because of the same thing. But sometimes you just need to understand where people, like I said, when you keep holding on to something where you don't need to, you can say it's fine. Like this was
The thing is,
great
and
friendship when
and
we
to
were
come
here.
back to come back to our history, we don't need to bring everybody along with us at the end of the day.
But
100%.
you also know that a lot of this has to do with colonization as well.
That's what Nicole was
Exactly,
saying.
Yeah.
that's what I was
That's what
saying.
Nicole was just saying.
Yeah.
That
That's what I
we
was saying. Because that's a sense of this is why it is so important to work on ourselves so we can understand the emotional impact, but also the societal excuse my French here, the society impact on the way that we were living for our ancestors as well, and how it impacted every level of Black people's lives.
Hmm.
Truly, I have a better understanding now of my parents and what they were, and what and their gift and their shortcoming, because my parents were never taught all the things that I am taught now. You
Hmm.
know that that I can relate to through therapy, through healing, through talking with my child, because we didn't have that communication with my parents. My dad never told me he loved me.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I grew up the same way. And I'm finding that and I think I had this conversation with you, Nicole,
Yes, I
that
think so too.
me coming back home to Atlanta from Texas not only was a healing process for me, but it was a healing process for my parents as well. So I had
Yeah.
to have conversations with my parents about some of the things that they had done in the past, but also some of the things that they were continuing to do so that I won't, as a parent, make those same mistakes. So I talk to my son. I'm very communicative with him. I make sure he knows that I love him. As a matter of fact, I fuss at him for not even calling me as much as I have to call him just to let me know he's okay. So
Yeah. No, it's a thing that it's just really understanding the core of what we are as Black people, and deciding what we want. My thing for me is always to do my best to be kind, welcoming, and loving towards a Black person.
Yeah.
Always. If I can be of help, I will be.
okay, ladies, we're going to wrap up because we're almost at our 1 hour mark. But before we do, I have one more question for you, okay? In what ways do you think your story can help other Black women who are navigating their own paths in life right now? We'll start with you, Nicole.
Whew. So they can do it. I'm an immigrant. I lived in the US. I came back to Europe. Lord, I've seen many things. Jesus, I've seen many things, but you can do it. Uh, you are seen. You are loved. You are able. Don't doubt yourself. Don't listen to to the naysayers. You can do it. You have agency. You have intelligence. Go for it.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Okay,
No, no, no.
Lauren.
I'm there with Nicole. I'm on her journey. I'm buying the t-shirt, Nicole.
Lauren, what about you? Tell us.
Do you know what? Like I said, I think for me, this is very personal. So I'm hoping that as I sort of unload my own personal experiences and being in the UK and where I'm from and what I do, I'm hoping that can be genuine and people can just see that I'm just trying to learn at the same time as teaching. So I want to be able to do both, and I'm hoping that I just come across as being a genuine regular Black woman from UK.
You are. That's why we had to have you on here. Like we kept telling you, hey, there is nothing to be nervous about. We're gonna be all on here together. You, me, and Nicole. Like Nicole said, 3 girlfriends having a chat.
I know.
We're doing it live now.
3 girlfriends. So 2 of my girlfriends need to send me an invite for Atlanta and Paris. When am I coming?
Hold on, wait. We are. Don't forget, we are. Next year, I'm coming to London, so you can, and I'm also going to be in Paris, so you can just skip over to Paris with me.
Yes, and I'm going to bring Nicole's t-shirt for her.
Yes, and I intend to be going to London as well. I would love to meet you.
Nicole actually just said that yesterday that she was going to hook up. She was coming to London and she was going to try to hook up with you so we could get everything together for us coming over there. Listen, we got it planned. Did you not see my message this morning when I said I think we need to do some live shows when I come over there?
Yes, we need to put all of this together. It's gonna be just really lovely. It's gonna be really lovely.
Like I said to you ladies, I'm excited. I've got a feeling you're going to make me cry in the put at some point during this journey, but you guys better just be ready for it, okay? Be ready.
It's gonna be, oh no, don't start crying, because if you cry, I'm gonna cry, and we all gonna be out here with tissue crying together.
I am a crier, so I'm a Pisces, so
I think the next assignment has to be with a glass of wine, right? I want Nicole with a glass of wine
Oh
beforehand,
my
please.
God.
The wine edition, the
Nicole,
18.
she trying to get you liquored up and cussing all on the
I'm telling you, I can't wait to unleash Nicole. Can we do Nicole uncensored?
okay. Listen, I'm telling you, Nicole is a really dynamic person, and she'll tell you. I told her this myself. I was on a call with a young lady who said that she was listening to Nicole, and she said that it didn't get real until Nicole started cussing.
I second that.
sometimes you need to drop a little few,
I
gems
do,
here and
Nicole.
there.
You know,
You need to
listen,
because it makes your message more compelling.
it does. It does.
Yes, you
So
need to,
listen, you
I'm
guys. We have
popular, I'm polite, but yeah, you need to do that from time to
Thank
time.
you, ladies.
I do it. Listen, when we're on the phone, don't I always let one go too?
I tell you, I'm gonna get a little jar, and you lot are gonna put. Tammy, you'll put $1 for every one you say. Nicole, you'll put €1 in for every. I'm gonna be rich. By the end of this series of podcasts, I will be rich. I'll be sitting with my fur coat on. I'll say, "Thank you, ladies. This is courtesy of you. You're swearing."
All right, you guys, we have reached our 1 hour mark,
you.
and I'm so grateful for you all. So give me 1 second. Let's do our outro and let everybody go. Okay, thank you all for joining us for this episode. This has been a journey today, and as you see, it's been so much fun. We hope you found a piece of your own story in ours, because even though our paths are different, our experiences as Black women connect us across borders and boundaries. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support helps us continue to uplift and amplify the voices of Black women everywhere. And a special shout out to Rabbit Productions for producing the incredible music that sets the vibe for our show. Until next time, remember to embrace your story, honor your journey, and keep shining, sis. You are powerful, you are resilient, and you are seen. Thank you so much, you guys, and have